Hello again. That's me, Widow Weber. I'm going to be doing another product review. Now I'm trying to do one product a week. As I had said in my first video, I will be rating things on 5 qualities. That would be taste, texture, cooking and or usefulness, allergies, and price. This week there will be a bonus item that I'm going to also rate because it was so terrible it won't take me very long. Okay, the regularly scheduled item. This week it is Blue Diamond Almond Breeze Almond and Cashew Blend. Now, you may recall, if you watched last week's video, it was also an almond and cashew milk. In that case, it was Silk. There were some notable differences between this and Silk. And remember, that was Silk protein, and this is just a regular, a vegetable milk. So, again, this is unsweetened, as I always get unsweetened. That way I can use it for cooking and things like that. All right, so, first, taste. I said last week that the Silk brand didn't have as much of a nut flavor. Like if someone hadn't told you that it was a nut milk, you might kind of wondered exactly what it was. In this case with the Almond Breeze, it does taste like almond and cashew. It's not overwhelming, but it's one of those things of where when you drink it and then breathe out your nose, you will notice the familiar flavor of those nuts, particularly the almond. If you like almonds and cashews, if you like nuts, then you will like this. So for taste, I give it 5 stars. Texture, it's different than a lot of soy milk, and, well, it's because there is no soy in it, of course. It is on the watery side. It's refreshing. It's good. But it's more like, well, in comparison with dairy milks, as I did last week, I said the Silk protein was pretty much like drinking whole milk. Well, in this case, the Almond Breeze would be more like drinking skim. There's a very watery quality to it. For that reason alone, I will be giving it 4.5 stars. It's good. It's refreshing. So, all right. So the third, usefulness in cooking. If you're just going to have it as a beverage, it's lovely. It's delightful. It's light. It's very refreshing. Now, nutrition-wise, there's not a lot there. There's no added sugar. It has 0 grams of sugar. It only has 1 gram of protein, and this is all per cup, by the way, and it has 2 grams of fat. So if you're looking for something that will fit in with a diet, especially, the Almond Breeze Almond Cashew Blend would work very well. It says it only has 25 calories a serving. So, cooking-wise, I haven't done a lot of cooking with this. I did do some, matter of fact, I'm finishing up right now in the microwave, some curry rice with it, and I just picked something where it wouldn't be off if I could taste the nut just a little tiny bit. It would be perfect for beverages like hot cocoa, or to add it to your coffee, or just anything where you want just a little hint of something, but you don't feel like using cream or milk or what have you, dairy milk. So usefulness, I will give it a 5-star rating. In terms of allergens, this is really good. Now, I actually have a couple corrections. A friend of mine, Mr. Jeff Agnew out of Michigan, actually corrected me on a couple of things. I had said about almonds being a tree nut last week, and I was wrong on that, and silly me, I should have remembered. They're technically what's called a drupe, and as I said, they are related to peaches and plums and things like that. Well, the fact that just because it's a tree does not make it a tree nut. So it's one of those technical things like a tomato is technically a fruit. So, and actually both the almond and the cashew are forms of drupe. So, You don't have to worry about allergens with the almond breeze unless you're specifically allergic to almonds and cashews, because that's all it has in it. There's no soy, there's no dairy, there's no wheat, so it's very light when it comes to all of that. The vitamin content is, it's okay. They did add some things. It's got 25% of the D, half of the E that you need. It has some calcium, and then it lists a couple of minor things, magnesium, copper, manganese. It's got, small percentages of those things. So just trace minerals. But so for allergens, I will rate this also a 5-star, and then we come to price. Blue Diamond products in general tend to be a little more expensive. So in this case, again, for myself, I did end up finding it on sale, and I had at least one coupon. I may have also had a rebate, or I may have had the rebate and not the coupon. But anyway, the price point that I look for to give it a 5-star rating would be if I can find it for basically around $2, not too awfully much more than that. In this case, I think I ended up paying something more along the lines of like $2.50, maybe a little more, which if you think about that, that's equal to $5 for a gallon. Typically around here, the dairy price for a gallon of milk is around $3.25 for a store brand, and for the local dairies that I'm not going to give free advertising to because they don't need it. No, I'm talking about the big ones, not the small ones. The big local dairy price that you'll find in the supermarkets is close to $5 a gallon. As a matter of fact, sometimes I think it's a little more than $5 a gallon. It's outrageous. In this case, like I said, I think I ended up getting it for around $2.50. I would rather pay $2.40 or less for a half gallon, but it is what it is. So that will be a 3.5-star rating on price because they don't typically give out as many coupons for the Blue Diamond specifically. There doesn't tend to be rebates for it as frequently, and it doesn't tend to go on sale as frequently. So it makes it harder to get it at a better price point. Now, a little bit of that is our fault. We like our almonds and cashews. We humans, that is. So you kind of have to blame it on us. The fact that there's a higher demand for almonds and cashews is what is driving up the price of everything that has almonds and cashews in it. I believe most of our almonds in the U.S. are grown in California. I watched some food shows and travel shows that involve food and such, and I haven't heard, even though they could be grown in the South, I haven't specifically heard of almonds really being grown in other places. If anyone knows of almond groves elsewhere besides California, feel free to drop me a line and let me know. Cashews, I believe, are grown throughout the South and in California. Although many of them may actually come from South America. I believe they were originally a South American nut. And watch me end up being wrong on that too. But anyway, so, all right, that takes care of the almond breeze. If you add up the total stars that something can get, it lost 1.5 on price and it lost a 0.5 point on texture, so that would give it a 23 out of 25 total star points, whatever you want to call it. Now, we come to the bonus product, the product that was so nasty I don't know what to do with the rest of it. I waited until it was on sale, and yes, I had a rebate, and I thought, well, I like drinking juices. I don't mind the specialty juices, although, them being in the smaller bottles makes it a little harder to deal with. But this brand is Suja or Suja, probably Suja. Could be Suha. Anyway, however they pronounce it. Über greens. the Über greens is the kind that it is. It is organic, and it lists all kinds of different things it has in it: cucumber, celery, grapefruit, green chard, lettuce, lemon, kale, spinach, parsley, mint tea. No. The only things that you taste in this are the spinach and celery. And it honestly tastes like they used spinach that was about 3/4 rotten and celery that was like about half rotten. It tastes like rotten celery and rotten spinach. Now, as you may be able to see here, it settled in the bottom, and I was only able to choke down about half of it, and that was in 2 sittings. I was only able to make myself choke it down. You shake it up, and it looks like that. So it goes, into a sort of solution, but yeah. So, and the other ones, I thought, well, yeah, I've tried other vegetable juices before that were green, and they were okay. There was one that was a little, it was a little thick, a little sweet. It was kind of weird for it to have all those weird qualities to it. But, this one I thought, well, with all those things, it'll maybe be light and refreshing. Well, it's light. I'll give it that. But in terms of taste, I'm not going to give something a 0 stars because it actually does have a flavor. It's just that the flavor that it has is not delicious. So it will only get a ½ star for flavor. Somebody out there might like it, but it ain't me. Texture. Now, texture for a vegetable juice, it was not horrible. It's light, and if you had a really horrible head cold and or felt like holding your nose, you could probably choke it down. If you heated it up and maybe put a little bit of salt to it, or maybe some kind of, I don't know, like Talema bouillon or consomme or something. If you put something with it, it might not be bad. So texture-wise, because it didn't have like a slimy or weird texture or anything like that, I'll go ahead and I'll give it a 5, surprisingly. Cooking and usefulness, I have no idea. I have no use for this as a beverage. It is just disgusting. I would almost rather drink toilet water. This is just some nasty shit. And it kind of looks like toilet water when you shake it up. So, you could probably use it in, like if you were going to make a soup, you could throw that in there and, with everything else, and the vegetables, and if you, throw in some fake burger crumbles or whatever like that and jazz it up, you could probably end up making it not noticeable. So in terms of its usefulness, I'm only going to give it a 2. Then when you come to allergens, it's probably pretty damn good allergen-wise. Of course, it doesn't have all the standard allergen things that people would be worried about. It doesn't have dairy or soy or wheat or eggs. It doesn't have any kind of nuts. It specifically does state that it is vegan and gluten-free. Well, of course, if it doesn't have wheat, of course it's going to be gluten-free. So you would have to be allergic to something specific to it, and most people that I know of are not allergic to cucumber and celery and lettuce and kale and, mint tea and et cetera, et cetera. So if you have specific allergies to the things that are listed on the front of the bottle, then it would be a problem, but most people don't. So allergen-wise, I'll give it a 5. Price-wise, there's a reason why I put off buying it. It tends to be really expensive. Part of that is, of course, because it is organic. And anything that's organic, you're going to be paying more for because all of the different things have to be sourced. It specifically states on the bottle USDA organic, non-GMO, verified, and it's got all this little checked off the boxes. And that's lovely, but I could just as soon get tap water out, and it would have been a lot cheaper. It wouldn't have had some of the nutrition that this has. The whole bottle, it has 2 grams of protein, so no fat. It has 6 grams of sugar, from these natural sources. There's no added sugar to it. It only has 10 total grams of carbohydrate in it. The calories, it has 50 calories in the bottle. So it would be classified as a diet type drink. It has, you would think with all the greens and whatnot to it that it would have a lot more vitamins. It's got 30% of the vitamin C, and that's really about it. It's 6% A, 8% calcium, 4% iron. Meh. You could eat a few spoonfuls of refried beans and get a hell of a lot better flavor without the heartache, the tongue ache. So, Suja organic, don't get it. It's disgusting, it's nasty, it's rancid. They should stop making at least this particular kind. The Almond Breeze, I recommend that you do get it if you can find it at the right price point. So that's my review for the week. Feel free to leave me any comments, and I will see you all later.